Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, grateful recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. How is everybody today? Hope we're all having a great day. Guys, please subscribe, like the video, share with anybody that might get something out of it, and by all means, leave a comment. Boy, did we have some comments today, huh? What a good day, guys. You know, it's funny, I woke up this morning to somebody apparently angry that I believe in God. And you know what? I tried to be nice a couple of times, and I could very quickly on see that he's just somebody out there. Well, you know, and I hope he's having a better day, but clearly going through something, or he's just a miserable troll. And he just wanted to argue, and I started to, you know, I gave a couple of responses, just trying to, hey, listen, this is me, you know, what's your problem? And literally, there's other people, and I got those of you that stuck up on my behalf. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, but please don't worry about that, guys. Let the haters hate. You know, I love my life. I know what I'm doing. I know I was a former disbeliever. I guess I was never really a disbeliever, but I was not somebody that was big on promoting God, and I'm you know, I'm sorry for that. But when I literally dropped to my knees and asked God into my life, invited him into my life, invited him into my heart, he literally immediately changed my world, changed the way I think, changed the way I feel, changed the trajectory of my life, and it is going beautifully. So I give reverence, and I am not going to apologize to anybody. I'm not, you know, promoting myself, you know, beyond asking those who come to my channel to follow and subscribe and whatnot. But I'm not out there trying to jail. I'm not knocking on people's doors and saying, yo, repent, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Anybody, I love anybody here. I love all you guys being here with me. And again, anybody that feels differently, you're welcome to your opinion. That's perfectly fine. I didn't ask you to watch my video, and you don't have to, right? It's not required. I welcome anybody to, and I hope that maybe he'll follow along for a while, and I hope he will. And literally, I have no animosity for anybody, right? I was a former, I was in those shoes. I would never go out of my way to, you know, try to argue with somebody. Like, though, you know, if your beliefs are not hurting anybody, then enjoy your beliefs. If they're making you be a better person and help others, then you're on the right track, right? If you're just some, you know, whatever, it's just somebody who just wants to argue, and then that's fine too. There's plenty of places to debate. And as much as I'd love to, all I can say is, you know what, maybe watch some of my earlier videos, and maybe you'll learn something. And I hope, you know, I wish a spiritual awakening upon him, and that may invite some joy into his life, so that he, you know, has something better to do than trying to argue with people he doesn't know on a random YouTube channel. But anyway, we're not going to let that. And my point being, guys, is I actually got a good kick out of it. And then honestly, in the old days, I would have wanted to argue and, you know, prove my point, but no, I've got nothing to prove to anybody. I'm here to encourage others to do better, because as I tell you all the time, give reverence to God, your higher power, spirit, universe, whatever you want to, you know, whatever your belief system is. But by all means, what I'm preaching is self-improvement. You have the power to change your world. And being grateful and giving gratitude and understanding there's something more at work here than just yourself is literally being proven by quantum science and everything else on a regular basis. And again, I don't know that if I don't really have a clear definition of God, and I don't think of God as being, you know, some gray-haired guy sitting in the clouds like they taught us as a child, but I know that I'm in alignment with the God of my understanding, and I know he's happy with what I'm doing. I mean, it's literally being, you know, I get evidence of it every day in my life, and there's literally no question, not a matter of being a believing. I'm literally walking it. I'm experiencing the manifestation of miracles, and it starts with what's happened to me. My entire life, as I talk about all the time, guys, I fought with addiction and alcoholism my whole life, and I'm no longer fighting. I literally surrendered my burdens to God, and he took them from my shoulders. It is that simple. I hope everybody else can have the same experience or better, right? And that's all I want for anybody. But again, and I love you guys. I know it meant the world to me to see somebody jump right up and put him in his place. But you know what? I almost feel like I made the map because I finally got a hater on my channel, right? Must be getting some kind of attention over here, so bring it on, right? But no, seriously, I do encourage you guys, and I love you guys in the comment section. I so appreciate you guys coming right to bat. I love to see when we're encouraging each other in the comment section, and then, you know, if some hater wants to come and we want to get riled up and gang up on them, but honestly, it's not worth engaging with ignorance, because when you engage with ignorance or crazy, what happens is they tend to make you come down to their level, and they beat you in a place you're not comfortable working at, because they're used to working at lower vibrational levels than we are. And all I can do is, hope for the best and wish blessings upon him and hope his life improves and he gets something better to do with this time, and I wish him well, I really do. But again, and I'm not going to let it burn space. Guys, today, the topic of the day is going to be perseverance, okay? Because I'm starting to see the the fruits of my labor. I won't call it a harvest just yet, but I'm certainly starting to see evidence of the seeds that I'm sowing coming to bear, right? Coming to bear fruit. And it's absolutely amazing. Every day, my life improves. Every day is just more beautiful and less. Now, one thing I talk about all the time is how my friend Doug with the pickup truck and my landlord and former boss, and he contracts a lot of work to me, and I don't, I haven't collected a dime from him because I was, so many thousands of dollars in debt. And now with that, $6,000 check showed up this week, and I'm doing some work, and it's literally to the point now where I used to have to go back and borrow his company credit card to go buy stuff for him. And I'm finally at a point now. I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. I'll just use my card, and I'll get I get reimbursed for the money I spend, and then I continue to put my labor money towards the towards rent, just getting ahead. And I just had a conversation with him. I'm actually gonna have a good little chunk. I took care of a few things for him today, and I'm taking care of something tomorrow morning. And I'm like, I'll just collect a check. And he's like, why don't you just wait till Friday? And when you turn your hours slip in, collect a check for everything. He goes, you're literally like 4 months ahead, even with the truck payment. He goes, you might as well start, collecting some money. He's like, and I'm like, well, I don't want you to come. He's like, come on, we both know he's got, more than plenty of money. But and when we get closer to being time, we'll start working again. But so literally, this, anywhere from anywhere from $800 to $1,500 a week. I've been, just writing off in hours that I work for him. And this week it's going to be substantially more than that because he's feeding me more and more work, and he's feeling comfortable doing so because he's like, listen, now I know you're getting paid, you're collecting a check. So then on top of the other work that I'm doing, which I'm making so much more money anyway, like, this is going to be a beautiful week, guys. And I had literally just found that out about 5 minutes ago. As I just hung up the phone with him. He's like, no, you're kidding. He's like, listen, you're only going to get more and more work. You're going to be plenty far ahead. You're going to, time to start putting money in your account, which is, and then there's the other jobs that I'm doing. I talked about the guy, the new customer I was working at his house yesterday. I put together 3 estimates for him. I got to email them off after tonight, but I know, I double checked with other companies to see what they charged to make sure I was coming in substantially cheaper, not ridiculously so, but so I'm in the ballpark. I'm taking very good care of myself, and literally I was almost like, wow, am I charging too much? But no, companies doing the job are all at least 20% higher than I'm charging, right? And I know I'm going to get the job, and I'm going to make fantastic money. Like literally, these next 2 weeks are literally taken care of right now, and yeah, that's more physical money coming. I mean, the blessings with other other things being taken care of, saved me money here, this, that, the other. But literally, actually putting money into my account in the next 2 weeks is going to be more than I've seen in the last 5 to 7 years. Right? I mean, it's beautiful. These are blessings that are happening constantly. Now, another reason, perseverance. This is all because, guys, I'm challenging myself. I'm persevering. I'm learning every day. I'm challenging myself to be better, to work harder. Not longer or crazy, but I mean harder and smarter, and take on more challenging and more beneficial jobs. And then at the same time, I'm giving back everywhere. This person that's been driving me crazy because she won't get out of her own way. Well, I talked about her driving on the tire yesterday. Well, part of the settlement we're offering her, we actually had a big sit down today, and we kind of came to a smart conclusion so we can actually help the girl. And because at the end of the day, I've been investing in this because she is a friend of mine, somebody I used to work with. Not a romantic interest in any way, shape, or form, but she's somebody that I know has some diagnosed mental illnesses, so she deals with depression, and literally she's in such a spiral right now that's breaking my heart. But at the same time, if she's not going to help herself, there's only so much I can do. And I'm literally to the point where I feel like I'm beating my head against the wall, and that's not what I'm about today. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not going to give up on her. I'm not going to cater to her illness, and I'm not going to play into her fantasies. I'm gonna keep coming with the hard truth and the tough love within reason, and delivering as kindly as I can. Well, apparently I finally got through to her as I was there replacing, because we went and got her a tire today, and again, it's going to come out of her settlement. And again, she's not owed a settlement, but she's been around long enough that it's almost like a severance package we're going to give her. And because she needs some help, and she's got a kid, and she's trying to get back to Texas to see her kid, and here's the whole thing, though. It all comes down on her doing the right thing. So I told her, if you go check into a rehab, and this is per, Doug and I had the conversation, if you check into the rehab, your stuff will be safe, your car will be maintained, we'll pay your phone bill, we'll take care of the tire. When you get out, you're going to have a severance package, and as a matter of fact, you're going to get served it, or we're going to come to an agreement with it, because literally at this point, it's just everything's staying above board, everything's through a lawyer, and we're trying to avoid putting an eviction on her, on her record. And yet, at the same time, now I think the current offer is like $10,000 to vacate the apartment she's in, that he could just, have her evicted from. And and we're gonna give her a few months because we don't need her out till August 1st anyway. So that for the Section 8 stuff that we're doing. But rather than letting it come to that, I just sat down and had a long talk with her. I'm like, listen, honey, you could literally, if you go into rehab, there's government programs that will help a single mother trying to get her kid back. They'll help you get housing. And we could take the money out of the $10,000 settlement you're getting and get you an apartment too. It's going to eat up 2/3 of it, but at least you'll have a roof over your head. But you're still going to have to get a job at that point. And either way, you're going to have to get a job. But go into rehab, and A, you'll stop pissing away every time you make. B, you'll feel better, like I did. Mental clarity, just that that pause, stepping back, and getting yourself back under control, sleeping properly, eating properly, exercising a little bit, learning a little bit about the disease that you're dealing with, and coming out of there with a clear mind. And on top of that, she's going to come out of rehab with a car that's working, a phone bill paid, and a $10,000 settlement. Plus, that raft rent help I just went through, she'll automatically qualify with that. We're going to give her a good reference for an apartment, good reference for a job. Like, instead of fighting against everything, as long as she does what's right for her, and literally it's just what's right for her. And she finally called me back this afternoon, and finally we had a clear conversation where I could actually hear her voice, because she wasn't so, feeling so run over that she could barely, speak out a word. She finally wasn't bawling. She's like, listen, I'm like, what? We'll put all this in paper. I want you to know that I'm telling you the truth. And she knows I'm literally all about the truth today. But guys, had I given up on her, right, she'd still be in that spiral. And again, it's not over yet. Until she walks into rehab, it's not over. But we're making milestones of progress. And I feel so incredibly energized over it, because here I am trying to help random people on the street, and all of a sudden someone that I have a history with, someone I've known for 7 or 8 years now, and I've always get along with very, very well, and she's always been upbeat and may have been screwing up, but she always had it kind of under control. But she went off the rails. We all do, it happens. But she's finally to a point where she's going to start making it better, and that's all I wanted. I'm not getting anything out of this other than the satisfaction of seeing a friend of mine get better, and I'll always be by her side, always be a friend to her, I'll always be available to to listen and to help out as within reason. My boundaries have to stay my boundaries. I can't let her, I can't go down on her sinking ship. But I can certainly, I've been certainly throwing her life rafts, and I'm just so incredibly energized by seeing her at least looking like she's grabbing onto it and keeping her head above water. Because literally, she, just like I tell all you guys, she's got the power to change her life. You just got to stop the snowball from running you over, and I think I finally got through to her. And guys, the rewards, that's the biggest reward. That's better than the $6,000 check I got, delivered to my landlord this week. But it's the culmination of everything, guys. It's the culmination of everything I'm doing. I've actually just come back from my doctor. I had my doctor's visit today. I got another Sublocade injection. And talking with the nurse, and I'm like, listen, I've committed to doing this for 11, 12 months. Because technically, I could come off of it now. And, it's recommended to do between 4 and 12 months. And I'm like, I will do the recommended, only because I'm not getting high off it. From what I looked into, there's no real long-term, detriments to it. But I am going down next month from 300 milligrams down to 100 milligrams, because again, I don't want any substances in my body that I don't have to have there. But at the same time, I don't want it to be a reservation in the back of my head, because I'm still in that area where I've always failed before. So I am going to stay on it for the 11 months. That way, down the line, and I know it's totally different this time. Literally, my brain, my heart, my soul, I have changed as a person. But again, I'm only one bad decision away from going backwards. And again, if I can keep that little bit of protection there, I'm happy to do so. But I'm not going to be one of these people that gets on Suboxone or methadone and stays on it for the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. That's just government's, subsidized drug dealing in my eyes. And again, that's my opinion. And again, I still say, if you're out there buying fentanyl or heroin or anything else, it's a step in the right direction. But I urge you to make a plan to come off of it so that someday you can walk on your own and not be on anything, because they're all terrible for you. Any of them. I'm sure in Sublocade not good for you. I mean, it's not as bad as the rest of them, from what I understand, but it's still not good for me. I don't want to be on it for any length of time. But considering what I've done to my body for years and the way it's responded, and the way I've overcome things, and to my friend in the comment section, how has God saved me? If you watch my videos, my friend, you'll see I've walked away from high-speed chases, hitting telephone poles 120 miles an hour. I've come back from overdose twice. My body has healed hepatitis C without doing the treatment. There's a reason I say God has saved me, all right? I know my story, and if you watch my testimony, you'll know more of it. So maybe you should do that before you want to come spitting and spouting about my history. I don't ask you about yours, and I don't tell you yours. Don't tell me what has and has not happened in my life. Believe me, I was the most skeptical person out there, but when you live it, you can't deny it. You can't not know what you know, okay? Anyway, that being said, yeah, just what, guys, like, listen, when you do these things, right? When you give thanks, when you come out of your own way, when you try to be a better person, when you challenge yourself to stay 10 toes down and do everything the best way you possibly can. And again, I falter, I fail, but here's the difference. Because I'm paying attention, I catch myself as I'm faltering, and I rectify it. And I make the situation right before it turns into something that gets out of control for me, or puts me in a bad spot. Opens me up for a relapse, or even, and relapse is furthest in my mind, but even just old behaviors, like any of my old behaviors I feel myself getting into, even when I agree to do a favor for somebody. Like, if it feels too much like my old life, it immediately, like, just jumps at me, and I can't, I'm like, whoa, all right, I got to arrest this right now and explain why. And I'm like, listen, nothing personal. But you know what? As you well know, everybody used to take advantage of me because that was the place I allowed, and I can't allow that anymore. I will do you this favor. But understand, if you think this is going to start to be a regular thing, it is absolutely not. And this is what it's going to require. And I had to have that conversation earlier today because I helped the guy out yesterday. Sure enough, 3 o'clock this afternoon, he's calling again, and I'm like, no, I've got stuff to do. I've got doctor's appointments. I've got to go to the gym. I'm doing my YouTube uploads. I'm not going to let your lack of preparation or your lack of control in your business affect my life, because again, it's costing me money. I've allowed it X amount of hours for me to work, and when I go work for him at $35 an hour instead of working for myself at $150 an hour, that's costing me money, and I cannot do that. And he's not willing to pay me the $150 an hour, and I understand that. I don't expect him to, but don't expect me to work. You better go find somebody. He keeps hoping he's going to get me to come back. It's not going to happen, my friend, and it's nothing personal, but there's many reasons for it, and I've explained them all many times. Guys, persevere. It works. Do these things. Challenge yourself. Come out of your own way. If you want things better in your life, then you gotta want better. You gotta do better. Then you get better, and that's literally what's happening in my life on a daily basis today. These lessons are things that I practice every day in my life, and my life has changed for the better in ways that are still surprising me, and I don't see coming on a daily basis. And some days you don't always see everything, and you get hit with a lot of crap, because again, there's an ebb and flow to everything. But I tell you, I never have 2 or 3 days that don't go really well. And if I have a couple of days that are quiet, then usually that third day something crazy beautiful happens, because I'm doing everything the way that I'm doing it. So I urge you guys to give it a shot, man. I'm telling you, this is literally very quickly getting to be beyond my wildest dreams. I don't know who I am anymore, but I love them. I love who I'm becoming, and that's the most encouraging thing I've ever said in my life. Guys, God loves you. I love you. Thank you so much for being here with me. Be safe. Be blessed. Have a wonderful day. Help others. And just be the best version of you can. We'll see you tomorrow.